Kuhusiana na hisia za Wakenya kufuatia ile kauli ama kauli zilizotolewa na viongozi wa kidini kutoka kanisa Katoliki. Nazungumzia maaskofu waliozungumza hapo jana wakikejeli serikali na kuikosoa kwa kile kimetaja ni utamaduni wa uongo, ahadi zisizotimizwa na vipaumbele vilivyopangwa vibaya. Kumbuka kwamba Rais William Ruto hii leo pia naye ametoa kauli yake akijibu zile kauli za maaskofu hawa, akisema kwamba viongozi wanapaswa kufanya kazi pamoja na viongozi wa kidini, na vile amewataka viongozi wa kidini kuzingatia ukweli na uhakiki wanapotoa kauli zao. Basi inaonekana ni moja kwa moja amewajibu hawa maaskofu waliozungumza hapo jana wakikosoa serikali kwa nini za uongo ama kwa taarifa za uongo. Na basi katika taarifa hiyo hiyo tuelekee Nyeri, manake Wakenya nao wa kutoka Nyeri wanazungumzia swala hilo la kauli ya baraza la maaskofu kuhusu kuikosoa serikali. Na moja kwa moja tuungane na mwanahabari Edwin Mbugwa ambaye anazungumza moja kwa moja na wakazi wa Nyeri, watujuze nao hisia zao ni zipi. Kama unanipata Edwin, kazi kwako.
Naam, bila shaka kama ulivyotaja Busara, ni kwamba kauli ama taarifa ya jana ya baraza la maaskofu wa kanisa Katoliki imeibua hisia mseto kuhusiana na kauli nzito walizozitoa wakikosoa serikali. Na hapa nilipo ni katikati mwa mji wa Nyeri, nikitaka tu kupata hisia za wakazi kuhusiana na swala nzima, kuhusiana na kauli iliyotolewa na maaskofu na baadhi tu ya kauli ambazo ziliweza kutolewa na viongozi wa kisiasa baada ya taarifa ile. Na hivi sasa nataka niungane na mmoja hapa, tuanze kwa jina, utueleze pengine kuhusiana na matukio ya jana na ambayo na vile asubuhi ya leo, kauli yako ni gani?
Kwa maoni yangu, serikali lazima ikubali kuambiwa na wachungaji, kwa sababu sasa serikali inaonekana kama imeanza kuingilia hata mambo ya kanisa. Kanisa ndio inakuwa mstari wa mbele kuangalia mambo ya vile nchi inaendelea. Na vile walisema mambo ya ufisadi, hiyo kila mtu anaona Kenya nzima vile ufisadi iko juu kabisa. Mambo ya hao vile watu wanaangaishwa, watu hawana pesa, watu hawana kila kitu ya kufanya, pesa hakuna, serikali imeangaisha watu kabisa. Kwa hivyo serikali ikubali kabisa kuelezewa na ikubali kuambiwa na wachungaji. Wachungaji tumeweka kibao mbele kuwa macho yetu sisi kama wachungaji ndio tuangalie.
Pengine unahisi kama kauli ambazo ziliweza kutolewa na baraza lile la maaskofu lina uzito wote ama zina msingi?
Sina msingi na sina uzito mkubwa sana, kwa sababu hao ndio wako macho yetu, ndio watuelezee na wawe wanatuelezea vile nchi inaendelea, kwa sababu hao ni wachungaji na ndio wachungaji wale tunawaheshimu, kwa sababu hao si wanasiasa. Wanasiasa tunajua leo wanasema hivi, kesho wanasema hivi vile, lakini wachungaji ni wanasema kitu ya haki na ukweli.
Vile tuliona baadhi ya viongozi wa kisiasa wakiweza kukashifu ujumbe ule na kusema kwamba maaskofu wanasema taarifa ambazo ama wanatoa kauli ambazo hazina msingi wowote.
Kwangu ni kusema hao ni watu wale hawaogopi Mungu. Kwa sababu ukiangalia hata hii serikali iliingia ikitudanganya na mambo ya Mungu na watu wakakubali. Kwa hivyo Wakenya ni watu wapenda Mungu. Yangu ni kuambia vile walikuja wakatuambia wakaingia hii kwa serikali na mambo ya kanisa, waendelee kuwasikiza watu wa kanisa. Waache kuwadhulumu, waache kuambia wanasema uongo watu wa kanisa, si wanasiasa. Kwa hivyo tunatakiwa wapewe heshima yao kama wachungaji wa makanisa.
Haya, naam, kama ulivyopata kwamba hizo ni hisia tu za mmoja kati ya wakazi hapa katika kaunti ya Nyeri. Tungependa kuendelea, lakini kulingana na hali ya anga ilivyo tunaomba kukomea hapo, lakini tutaendelea kuzungumza na baadhi ya washikadau wengine, wafanye biashara, vile tuweza kutafuta viongozi wa kidini na kuweza kuwafahamisha watazamaji wetu katika taarifa zetu zifuatazo kauli zao zitakuwa zipi. Kwako Busara.
Na asante sana Edwin Mbugwa kutoka Nyeri kwa taarifa hiyo. Basi mtazamaji, hizo ni hisia tu za baadhi ya wakazi wa Nyeri kuhusiana na kauli iliyotolewa hapo jana. Maaskofu hao walilalamikia mtindo wa uongozi wa serikali iliyoko mamlakani hivi sasa, na tuliona usiku kucha hadi kufikia asubuhi ya leo kumekuwa na hisia tofauti ambazo zimetolewa na viongozi mbalimbali ikiwemo Rais William Ruto wakiwajibu maaskofu hao kwa kauli waliotoa hapo jana. Wakenya pia nao wako na hisia tofauti, tutakuwa tunazisikiza hapo baadaye, lakini naelekezwa kwamba nirejee katika kaunti ya Mombasa katika hafla nzima ya TBK ama bodi ya TBK ambayo inaadhimisha miaka 100 ya Majani Chai. Mtazamaji, kumbuka kwamba ni hafla ambayo itakuwa inaongozwa na naibu wa rais ambaye ni Profesa Kithure Kindiki. Tayari ameshawasili Mombasa na tayari yupo ndani ya ukumbi tayari kwa hafla hiyo, na moja kwa moja tutakuwa tunafululiza huko ili tuweze kushuhudia yanayojiri katika hafla hiyo. Na hivi sasa naona wanaimba nyimbo ya taifa, moja kwa moja tuelekee huko.
Your Excellency, as we remain standing, we are going to have a word of prayer from our Christian and Muslim brothers. And the one who is going to start is going to be Caesar, the Uri, and then Suleiman Jilo.
Let's pray. Almighty God, in the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, we come before you this afternoon with thanksgiving in our hearts for the gift of life to each one of us. We thank you for the leadership of this country. We thank you for Johnny mercies you've granted, the Deputy President, and all in the entourage to this meeting. We pray that whatever we're going to do in this place, the liberations we'll have will be of benefit to all those we serve, and that the future of tea will be blessed by you. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. Let's say Amen.
Amen.
Amen ya Rabbil Alamin.
Thank you, Your Excellency. Kindly, we can take our seats. Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Professor Abraham Kindiki, the Cabinet Secretary, Minister of Agriculture and Livestock, Principal Secretaries present, State Department of Agriculture, members of the National Assembly present, the Chairman Tea Board of Kenya, the CEO Tea Board of Kenya, the Chairman KTDA, the CEO KTDA, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this celebration of 100 years of tea in Kenya. Allow me now, Your Excellency, to invite the first speaker who is going to give us welcome remarks, the Tea Board of Kenya CEO, Mr. Willy Kimutai. Welcome, sir.
Good afternoon. His Excellency, Professor Kithure Kindiki, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, His Excellency, the Honorable Sharif Nasir, Governor of Mombasa County, Cabinet Secretary for Agriculture and Livestock Development, Dr. Karaja, Principal Secretary for State Department of Agriculture, Dr. Gibron Orono, the Chairpersons and Chief Executive Officer present, former chairpersons of the Tea Board of Kenya and KTDA, the industry stakeholders, partners and sponsors, esteemed guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'm delighted to host the Kenya Tea Summit and witness a century of tea commercialization in Kenya. This event has converged these stakeholders from Kenya, Africa, and the globe to strategize on sustainable tea production, manufacturing, and trade in the changing business environment. This season accords us an opportunity to look at our tea industry with both eyesight and foresight. As we glory on our achievement over the past 100 years, the journey for the next 100 years poses a big, greater, but worth challenge. Handover of the future of the tea to our youth, Gen Z, who are ripe to take up the new journey for the next 100 years to come. Your Excellency, sir, Mombasa is African tea trade hub hosting one of the largest auction platforms in the world. The tea traders, the tea buyers, and exporters have been here in this country for 52 weeks, each and every year for the last 100 years. It is also important to note that the 13 African countries, tea-producing countries, exporting tea through Mombasa auction, and this entry to the market through the Mombasa ports. Through this session of the Kenya Tea Summit, the participating countries will greatly benefit from knowledge, experience, and recent findings in farming, processing technologies, trade, the encouragement of tea consumption, local and international, and to improve the tea in their countries. Alongside the conference is an exhibition of the tea product and the related services industries supporting this industry. Your Excellency, sir, allow me to recognize the following international guests. Mr. Ian Gibbs, the chairman of the International Tea Committee, with us. Upstanding. Mr. Sagit Bagari, CEO of TNI Global from India. Mr. Nishan Kang, MD GM Fortune from India. Mr. Sanjay, Chairman Uniworld Tea, and his tea partner from Germany is also with us. Mr. Isaac Tangola, Regional Director for the Fair Trade, and Fair Trade is with 18 tea factories in Kenya. Also allow me, sir, to introduce my management and the staff, the senior guys in the tea board you can up starting. That's our team. We are a team of 56 people. And also to thank your addition, sir, that we have also Gen Zs, which was seconded from the Public Service Commission. They can have standing, my young team. Those are the guys who were seconded in January this year by government to work with Tea Board of Kenya, and the government pays under public service covers. As I conclude, I want to sincerely thank you for honoring to grace this occasion. I also want to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors. The platinum sponsor was KCB, Kenya Commercial Bank. They are also with us. Media Max, who is the coverage media sponsor.
all the board members.
Na mtazamaji, samahani sana kidogo kuna hitilafu ya sauti, lakini fundi wa mitambo ayupo ange anashughulikia swala hilo, na pindi tu sauti itakapokuwa sawa basi toka tunarejea katika kongamano hilo. Mtazamaji, kumbuka kwamba ni kongamano ambapo basi TBK inaadhimisha miaka 100 mtazamaji ya kuuza na kukuza majani chai. Mtazamaji, wadau mbalimbali wa sekta ya majani chai basi wamekongamana hapo Mombasa katika eneo la White Sands ili kuzungumza tu mikakati ya kuboresha zaidi sekta hii ya majani chai na vile vile kuboresha hasa sekta ya uuzaji wa majani chai, na si soko la humu nchini peke yake wala soko la bara Afrika peke yake, bali soko la kimataifa. Na moja kwa moja mambo akiwa shwari tutakuwa tunarejea katika ukumbi huo, na mwelekezi anasema kwamba kila kitu kipo shwari. Sasa tunaweza sikia sauti vizuri, basi tuelekee nasi tusherekee kwa pamoja miaka 100 ya majani chai, na moja kwa moja turejee Mombasa.
Into the pockets of the farmers. Without the tea farmers, we'll be doing nothing here. Without the tea farmers, there will be no tea, there will be no growing. Kenya is the biggest exporter of the black CTC tea, and Mombasa, as you have heard, is the biggest black tea auction center in the world. We also cater for 13 countries, which are really within the growing the tea in the East and Central Africa. Before even I finish, Your Excellency, since I have got the parliamentarian here and senators, very briefly, I would like to call the chairman of Parliament Agriculture Committee just to say 1 or 2 words. And then after that, Mr. Morango, Senator Morango, are you here? Maybe you are the vice chair. So just to say a few words, very briefly. Yes, please.
Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, the CS Agriculture, PS, and all my colleagues and others, please allow me to write on the established protocol. Your Excellency, this is a great day for Kenya. I have requested the chairman to do one thing. These are very obedient and first world politicians. The worst thing you can do to a politician is not map him properly to his constituency. Your Excellency, I would like them to be given the chance to just say the name and the constituency, that's it. Not to give a speech. Because it is good for their voices to be heard, and they have committed themselves to come all the way. So please give them the mic wherever they are. As you do that, allow me to say two things. Number one, today we are here to celebrate a great sector in Kenya. We are here to celebrate 100 years of development and 100 years of progress. We are here to celebrate a sector that has been an anchor to the economy of this country. We are number 3 in the world after China and India in terms of the volumes that we move to the world market. Your Excellency, that's a great achievement. I have participated in many fora, nationally and internationally, and when you go out there, we beat the two who are ahead of us in terms of the way our tea sector is organized. Kenya Tea Development Authority and the organization of the tea production and conveyance to the market is lauded as the best example in the world because it is the best small-scale tea management process. So we have one goal that we've scored. Your Excellency, I'm happy to see what we have seen as we came here. The movement towards processing of tea. We produce top quality tea in the world, but we sell quite a large volume of it as brown CTC. Your Excellency, the more we move towards value addition, the better the money that we shall get to our farmers. And the most important thing is to have money into the pocket of the farmers. This sector supports more than 5 million Kenyans and many others who are engaged in the industry. So it's really a key sector and a driver to the economy. So, Your Excellency, with those very few remarks, I would like the members of Parliament, the members of the National Assembly specifically to stand so that they may be known. And please, take the mic and say your name. It is very important that you mention your background.
Good afternoon, all protocol observed. My name is Captain Ruida. I represent Lamu East in the National Assembly. Thank you.
Very good.
Your Excellency, all protocols observed. My name is Geshimo Githinji, Member of Parliament, Gishugu, Kirinyaga County, where we have 4 factories squarely within Kirinyaga and 1 shared between Dia and Matera, that is Kemunye, Tumaita, Kangaita, Mununga, and Dima. Thank you, Your Excellency. So I'm squarely within the right place.
Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, the Deputy President, and all protocol observed, my name's Joseph Cherorot, Member of Parliament from Kipkei. Tea. The only message, those who take tea is very addictive. If it is brought here today, 1 or 2 cups, people start talking. So those who are taking tea, you should make sure that don't talk much. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Your Excellency, I also saw the Honorable Member for Tigania East, my neighbor, the Honorable Mporo Aboli. I think he is still within. The final thing I would like to say is this, Your Excellency. This is a team that helps us make laws in the National Assembly. And our promise to the Kenyans is, Kenya is looked at as a good example in Africa. Kenya is looked at as the example that will lead Africa out of poverty through agriculture. What we are doing in legislative approach is to make money within the subsectors so that we do not have to rely on the exchequer funding. Those are the kind of laws.
Your Excellency, now I invite the Vice Chair of the Agricultural in the Senate. Just a few very quick words and then introduce the senators who are here. Thank you.
Deputy President of Kenya, Professor Abraham K24, Cabinet Secretaries, PS, and wale watu wote wako hapa, senators, hamjambo. Mimi ni Senator wa Embu County, Alexander Munyi Mondigi, Vice Chairperson, Agriculture, Livestock and Brew Economy. Hatuna mengi ya kusema. Tuko senators kadhaa, tuko na mambo ya agriculture. Ningeomba tu wale wako hapa wasimame wa kamiti ya agriculture, kwa sababu bila Senate ni hapa house, mambo ya kilimo haiwezi endelea vizuri. Na unajua Senate ina support mambo ya majani 100%, ati mwananchi ule wote analima majani ni pesa mkononi. Kwa hivyo mambo mengi hatutaongea, bora tu mwananchi apate ile inafaa. Kwa hivyo wale wanasimamia mambo ya majani, msikule yote, mwananchi benefit apatiwe faida inafaa. Senators wasimame. Senator wa Matinga, Senator for Nyeri County, inua mkono. Senator wapatie microphone. Yes, thank you. Pore.
Your Excellency, the Deputy President, congratulations. You are the new kid in the block. I'm yours truly, Senator Wafula Wakoli, Senator of the Great County of Bungoma. I'm happy to join the Deputy President and welcome all the tea growers and companies to Bungoma, a land of greatness. Thank you so much.
Your Excellency, the Deputy President, CS and PS, and all of us, protocols of that. Good afternoon. I am Senator Beth Siengo from Kitui County, Mwingi North, neighboring Tharaka Nithi. Where I come from, we plant ndengu. I'm a member of Agriculture Committee. Thank you so much. When it comes to ndengu, I will have more to say. Thank you, sir.
Asante sana Naibu Rais, naomba nisingatie hitifaki zote ambao zilikuwa zimeelezwa. Kwa majina, mimi naitwa Senator Wahome wa Matinga kutoka eneo gatusi la Nyeri. Siku ya leo nimekuja hapa Pwani kwa sababu tunataka kushughulika na haya mambo ya kilimo. Mwenyekiti wangu ambaye ni seneta wa Kirinyaga bado endelea kufuatilia ile ratiba tulikuwa tumeweka, ndiposa hakuweza kufika hapa. Naibu Rais, nichukue nafasi hii kwa sababu tangu ukalie hicho kiti sijapata nafasi ya kuambia congratulations. Nataka kuhakikishia sisi katika seneti ambayo kazi yetu ile kubwa ni kuzuia ugatusi, tunajitahidi vilivyo ndiposa tuweze kuona ati ukulima, bila shaka mkulima ametia pesa mfukoni. Asante sana.
Asante Deputy President, wa kuhakikishia sisi maseneta wote tunaunga serikali ya muungano mkono, mkiwa na rais wetu William Ruto, ndio ukatusi devolution iende kwa mwananchi. Asante, mbarikiwe sana.
Asante sana. I thought it was supposed to be 1 minute, but knowing the politicians, it's only we are pressed of time, they would have gone a bit further. Your Excellency, you have come back again. Chairman, T&D ako wapi? KTDA. I was going to mention that, but the chairman of KTDA, the problem with the chairman of KTDA, he's one time aspiring as a politician, so sometimes he comes with many words. This time I'll not give you a chance to read your speech. You just say hello, introduce your board, and that's it. No speech, please.
Thank you, Your Excellency, Deputy President, Professor K24. May I also request to write on the already established protocols. My name is Enos Jero. KTDA is one of the major stakeholders in this sector and in Kenya. And if we are never recognized, we feel that we are somehow demeaned. So, Your Excellency, if you allow me, I will introduce the board members we have here. National board members, kindly stand up. We are 12 of us. I won't mention all the names. Those are the board members of KTDA. Because of time, I won't mention them by their names. Kindly sit. Appreciate them. We have several factory chairpersons from across the country. Kindly, chairpersons, can you all stand up? You see, they are the majority in the House, and if we go unrecognized, then they feel not happy. Still, I have my CEO from KTDA, Mr. Wilson Mudaura, and all other senior management who are present. Kindly stand up, all senior managers. Thank you very much. I would request if I take 2 minutes just to read a brief speech. I won't exaggerate. I want to do many things, Your Excellency, because this industry, we have information actually to let you know. It is a tremendous privilege to celebrate a century of Kenyan tea today with each one of you. Today we honor the legacy that began 100 years ago and has since become a vital part of economy and culture. Your Excellency, I thank you for being with us to mark the significant milestone. Your support underscores the importance of our tea industry, not only the economy, but the lives of countless Kenyan families. Kenya Tea has journeyed from humble beginnings to become one of the cornerstones of our economy and the source of national pride. Today, our nation holds the title of the one-stop exporter of black tea, a position achieved through hard work and commitment of more than 700 farmers who produce over 60% of our tea. These farmers are the heart of our industry, and their determination is the force behind our success. As we reflect this journey, one of the most exciting achievements has been the launch of Kenya's first flagship tea brand, Chai Gold, that you've seen outside there. The brand represents our dedication to adding value to our tea, reaching new global markets. Chai Gold is more than a product. Chai Gold is more than a product. It's a symbol of growth and our vision to take Kenya tea to every corner of the world with a primary Kenyan identity. Over these 100 years, our journey has also brought substantial progress in farmers' earnings. What began with a minimum return has evolved into a more rewarding experience for our farmers. This transformation is a testament to our commitment to improving livelihoods across tea-growing communities. As we look to the future, we will work hard to ensure that all farmers continue to benefit from growth of the tea sector. Kenyan tea is celebrated globally for its quality, thanks to the dedication of our farmers who follow the best practices, such as harvesting 2 leaves and a bud, to preserve freshness and quality. This high standard has secured Kenya's place in an international market, where Kenyan tea is known for its bold flavor and consistency. I urge all farmers to continue maintaining these quality standards as they are essential to secure our market share and reputation worldwide. As we enter new markets, we must also innovate in the way we present Kenyan tea to consumers. Our industry can only continue to thrive if we capture the interest of modern, young audiences, both locally and internationally, by introducing more diverse products such as purple tea, tea wine, and other products that can appeal to a broader market and deepen consumer loyalty. The Tea Act 2020 has been instrumental in steering the industry towards a new era. The legislation brought significant reforms to enhance transparency, improve payments, and cut down middlemen costs. Farmers now benefit from their faster and higher payments, reduced brokerage fee, and subsidized fertilizer. And for this, I want to thank the government for honoring the promise. I can attest that we have received the 2 billion fertilizer subsidy. All of which have reduced their operation costs. The Act has also empowered farmers through fair election in factory directorship, allowing them to play a more active role in the future of tea farming. Despite this achievement, the sector faces significant challenges, particularly from climate change. Our industry is increasingly feeling the impact of changing weather patterns, which bring unpredictable rainfall and higher temperatures that threaten crop quality and yields. Addressing climate change is a pressing priority, and it will require a united effort to adopt climate-smart agriculture practices, develop a resilient tea varieties, and secure a sustainable future to our farmers. Additionally, the government establishment of a stabilization fund is remarkable. Is a remarkable step forward, shielding our farmers from price fluctuation at the auction. We are deeply grateful to His Excellency, the President William Ruto, and his administration for prioritizing farmer-centered policies that secure the future of our industry and strengthen the backbone of our economy. While we work to grow our presence in the international market, it's also essential that we foster a stronger culture of tea appreciation here at home. By promoting the health benefits and quality of Kenyan tea, we can strengthen our domestic market and build a loyal base of tea drinkers who support the national product. We must encourage pride in our tea at every level, from farmer to consumer, building a narrative that enhances our tea premium status both domestically and globally. Aligned with the Kenya Kwanza administration bottom-up economic approach, we are committed to ensuring that our farmers see increased returns from the tea farming. To address high production costs, we must take steps to modernize our factories. Many of our factories operate with outdated machineries that drives up maintenance costs, reducing profitability. I urge the government to consider supporting factories modernization through grant, allowing us to upgrade equipment and reduce costs, ultimately improving our competitiveness on this global stage. And for this, I also wish to affirm to our directors and our farmers that the government has committed to help us and give us a grant of 3 billion. This has been confirmed. We thank you for that. As I conclude, let us take this moment not only to celebrate the past, but also set our sight on the future. Our collective commitment to support farmers and funding sustainable practices and embracing innovation will ensure that the next century is as vibrant as the last. Together we can secure a bright future for Kenya's tea industry and all those who depend on it. Thank you very much. May God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. Jero. You know, he said it's going to be short. I wonder when he takes a full report, what he takes. I've got, Your Excellency, groups, but I'll not give them, I'm sorry, you have to bear with me, no speeches. But I've got the Kenya Tea Growers Association, and independent tea producers. These are the large-scale producers, plus the independent, the private ones. In fact, the private, what we call independent, has really grown, Your Excellency, that they are producing almost 20% of the country's production is coming from individual people or companies which has already produced. If I can ask those people from the KTGA and the independent just to stand up, please. That's the group now coming out from the independent. Then I have members of East African Tea Trade, although independent and everybody is members of East African Trade. We have got buyers, we have got brokers, we have got warehousemen. and members of East African Tea Trade, which is the secretariat for the auction. Just stand up, please. And I have buyers, warehousemen. These are the people now mainly in Mombasa for that. Your Excellency, I'll not take as much time, but since now I've seen the parliamentary and the Senate members here on the agriculture, I'm just begging and pleading with them before you go for the recession, whether you can finish up on the amendment of the Tea Act. We have the Tea Act 2020, and this year, we went to court because there were issues on court cases. We got a decree from the court, but we had to do a few amendments, which was supposed to be the House of Parliament. The Senate has gone through part of it. The other one is already with the parliamentary committee. And I have prayed with you before you go for the recess. We can sit down and finish up on the issue of the amendment of the tea reforms. Your Excellency, I'll just take a very brief to say that tea, the chronology or where we started in the tea, and that's why we are celebrating this. The tea plant, as a bush or a seedling, was started 1903 by somebody called G.L. Kane in 1903. In 1924, Malcolm Frere's Bell began a commercial tea cultivation in Kenya, which is in Rimuru. And if you yesterday I was saying, if you go to Rimuru, some of the trees in the Brookbond, or what we call Unilever Estate, you see very big trees of tea. In 1934, we had the tea ordinance that was acted as a legal instrument to govern the tea production. 1958, it was revised to tea ordinance, mandating the Directorate of Agriculture to control tea production. In 1950, the Tea Board of Kenya was established under the Tea Act and regulated the industry, which is up to today. The Tea Board is to regulate the tea industry. 55, government appointed a committee, renowned Switzerland Committee, to investigate the African land problems and recommend measures for improving African agriculture, including cash crops to the Africans. A year later, 1957, the first small-scale tea factory, Ragati Tea Factory, situated a few kilometers from Karatina town, was set up managed by their multi-agency, but that's the time we had the first African to be a factory member of a tea factory. 1957, he was called Naftali Wachira. 1960, Special Crops Development Authority, which was mainly governed through the British government for the aid to try to promote the small-scale tea of the smallholders factories. At independence, 1963, the tea estates and the small tea farms had a mere 21,500 hectares only. 64, that was the creation of the Kenya Tea Development Order that promulgated to Kenya Tea Development Authority. It was replaced by Special Crops, and in 2000, KTDA, what we call KTDA, which contributes about 56% of the production we have in the country, was privatized at the KTDA agency. KTDA also have developed their own subsidiaries and investment under the KTDA holdings. Your Excellency, government reforms in agriculture started in 2014. Actually, I was in that committee, or the task force on the agriculture task force for the reforms. And this one, it came out to what we call Agriculture Food Authority. And I should have mentioned the CEO, Dr. Ituri. Bruno is here. He is the Director General of AFA. In 2020, the Tea Act was enacted and they reestablished the Tea Board of Kenya. And 11th January 2021, the Tea Act came into effect. The Tea Act, Your Excellency, created a lot of court cases. In fact, when we looked at the court cases last year, when I got into the Tea Board, we had 26 court cases against the Tea Act. In April, we are able to sit down and mediate on the Tea Act and then come out to what I was saying about the amendments. So as I said, my board is composed of 11 people. There is the Treasury is appointed, Minister of Agriculture, Trade, and plus the other tea traders who are forming in the board. At this juncture, because I don't want to take much time, most of the programs we went them through, maybe due to protocol, I'll ask Dr. Kiprono just to come and invite the CS, who in turn will invite Your Excellency for your address. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Chairman. Your Excellency, the Deputy President, who is our guest speaker today for our second session. The CS Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock, who is with us today. The chairpersons of committees of Parliament and the members of Parliament and Senate who are present. Allow me to use the already established protocols to save on time. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Good morning. It's afternoon. Good afternoon. Your Excellency, we are honored today to have you here. From the time this administration put an agenda on tea and a PETA, there is no other big day on tea like today. When the statement was put on PETA, on value addition and attention on tea, today is our great day because we have you, the Deputy President, to grace this occasion. It's a clear demonstration that our plan works. Our bottom-up economic transformation agenda work. On tea, we've been here several times with the CS, and now your presence today is a great celebration for the tea sector. And I want to thank you sincerely on having time to honor this day, because from yesterday, we waited and say today is our day on tea. This celebration, Your Excellency, is meant to make our farmers great, our tea farmers great through putting money in their pocket in enhancing the tea earning. That is the main message for this 3-day celebration on 100 years. And we said yesterday, on the action this 3-day event will put across, we are asking that in 21-24, for those who will be alive, to celebrate the 200 years of tea being commercialized, it will be called convened by farmers, because this administration, through your leadership, Your Excellency, and the ministry, will ensure that we execute the many programs we put across so that we make our tea farmers great. Almost lastly, Your Excellency, is the issue of the tea trade mission. We are saying we have been selling our tea at the price of wood because of lack of value addition. Now we are saying, with the plans put in place on value addition, we want to sell our tea at the price of gold, because tea is called for our farmers, it is called for this country because of the foreign earning. So that is a channel. So we'll be requesting for a tea trade mission to establish a market and support the tea sector, and that is the decision this team was requesting. Your Excellency, as I conclude, I remember the big team from the members of Parliament led by Dr. John Mutunga, who has assisted us. I remember John Mutunga, you forgot to mention your name, the MP for Tekania West, who has been a very instrumental in articulating matters to do with agriculture and tea, and also the big team of the Senate. I really want to appreciate the effort they have put to ensure that they support us. So, Your Excellency, with those few remarks, allow me now to welcome our next speaker, the Cabinet Secretary in charge of the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development, Dr. Andrew Karanja, who will make his remarks and therefore welcome you. Thank you very much.
Your Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Professor Kithure Kindiki, Principal Secretary, Chairman and Honorable Members of Parliament and National Assembly, and the Vice Chairman of the Honorable Senators, tea industry stakeholders, event organizers, ladies and gentlemen, hamujambo. I would like to take this opportunity, first of all, to welcome His Excellency, the Deputy President, and congratulate you, assuming the office of the Deputy President. I note this is the first function you have presided over in the sector of agriculture. So welcome very much. In agriculture, it's a large sector. We welcome you. You'll be seeking your guidance. You'll be seeking your, as we move forward, to make sure that we work together, and we assure you that we will have our full support. We are delighted, as any other fellow Kenyans, to celebrate 100 years of tea. And I would like to inform our Excellency, the Deputy President, tea is the biggest subsector in agriculture, both in terms of GDP, whatever in terms of what it contributes. Currently, we are seeing tea crossing the 200 billion in terms of foreign exchange earnings. So that is big. In the last 100 years, tea has moved from where it started. Currently, we are almost talking about 600 million kilograms of tea. So it has grown tremendously in the last 100 years. And when you go through the countryside, you see a lot of activities regarding tea. And for those who have read the history of Kenya, the fight for independence was not only about an emancipation, about our freedom, it was also for Africans to grow tea and coffee. So it is part of our history. It is part of our history about our, when we try to liberate ourselves. So, without much, because we are pressed with time, I would like to say that the government, through the bottom-up transformation agenda, BETTER, has prioritized tea as one of the priority value chains. And why? Because if you look at the last 100 years, we have grown in terms of production, in terms of volumes, in terms of making sure that we have the tea. But looking forward, we are seeing some of the challenges which we need to handle. One of the challenges is to make sure that we add value to our tea. When I was appointed the minister, the cabinet secretary for agriculture, one of the first assignment I was given by His Excellency the President was to come to Mombasa. By that time, we had almost 100 million kilograms of tea in warehouses in Mombasa. And the feeling was that farmers might lose out because that tea, if it is not sold, then the payment to farmers will be in jeopardy. And we did what we did, and the movement, that volume has come down. So the other challenge we are looking at when the next 100 years, is to make sure that we have enough space in the market, in the global market. And that's why the PS has indicated that going forward, we will be kindly requesting you, Your Excellency, to lead some of the missions to go out to the countries where we can even sell more tea. Because the volumes are growing, we need to market that tea. The other challenge, and which is a good challenge also, is that we also need to improve on our quality. We know Kenyan tea is good quality, but there are certain areas where we need to improve on quality. And the Tea Board of Kenya has a program which they have already started to improve and to help the smallholder farmers and other farmers to improve on quality. So with those few remarks, I would request all of us to be upstanding as we welcome His Excellency, the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, who is our chief guest. Thank you, and welcome, Your Excellency.
Good afternoon, please be seated. Naomba tuketi, asanteni sana. Kwanza kabisa natambua wote ambao mmefika hapa na ile nafasi mnashikilia katika sekta mbalimbali na katika serikali. Ya pili ni kusema ya kwamba nimefurahi kufika hapa kwa kikao hiki, na ya tatu ni kusema nimeleta salamu za Mheshimiwa Rais, kiongozi wetu President William Ruto amewasalamia. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's my great pleasure to join you at this centenary celebration marking 100 years of service, the Kenyan tea, of serving the Kenyan tea to the rest of the world. I am particularly delighted to welcome our visitors who are present here today from every part of Kenya, and particularly those who have come out of Kenya. I warmly welcome you, those who have come from outside Kenya, to our beautiful country, and more so our coastal city of Mombasa. And on that note, I was also with my brother, the governor of Mombasa. I think he is engaged in another function with this town. He has sent his greetings and apologies as well. It is my hope that while you are here, those of you who have come from outside Kenya, you will get to enjoy the ambience, comfort, and tranquility of Mombasa, the world's premier holiday destination and the true home of Hakuna Matata. Ladies and gentlemen, I take note of the fact that these celebrations were preceded by the Tea Heritage Week held in Karatina University. I'm informed that that university event gave the sector players an opportunity to share information on various innovations in tea production and showcase the Kenyan tea as our national heritage. I congratulate the organizers for the inventiveness of the program that has integrated the cultural and social experience with a formal structured segment. I will not belabor you with Kenya's tea history. It has already been highlighted from 1903 to 1924, and therefore I will skip that bit of my speech and continue to say that we have come a long way in the tea journey, and even as the minister said, our Minister for Agriculture, it took the fight of those who fought for our independence to get us grow tea, as well as other crops, cash crops like coffee. And therefore, tea is not only our very unique exports, it's not only our gold and the treasure of our country, but tea is also part of our national heritage and is embedded in the struggle for the freedom and liberation of our country. 84 years today after tea was commercialized, we have made exemplary strides as a country. Today, tea growing cuts across 21 counties, supporting over 800,000 farmers and more than 6.5 million people directly or indirectly, are economically supported by tea. Tea, as has been said, contributes to about 2% of our GDP. It is only third after diaspora remittances and as well as tourism. Today, our tea has grown in terms of quality and safety, and one of the reasons why our tea continues to maintain its quality and safety, it is because it is grown in natural conditions with very little chemical input. Kenyan tea, just like our athletes, is a globally recognized and outstanding brand. I appreciate what the Tea Board of Kenya is doing and the other stakeholders to market our tea abroad, and I want to commit to support that marketing campaign, and will be more than happy to join you when I can, when you go to market our tea in the places where our tea is exported. I think I have a bit more now of leverage to travel, because I have not been able to travel because of the previous national duty I was doing, which compelled me to stay within the territory of the Kenya 24 hours, 7 days a week, including on Christmas Day. I'm the only person who, for the last 2-3 years, have not been able to even go on Christmas. When you are on Christmas vacation, I am on duty, and I can see people who are familiar with that story, like Mheshimiwa Ruwaida here from Lamu. Those were some of the places I used to spend my Christmas with our frontline officers in the security sector. Therefore, as I have said, this is a very, very strong brand, our Kenyan tea, just like our athletes, and we need to leverage on that prominence of that brand to sell our tea abroad. And in many parts of the world, including the developed world, Kenyan tea is a major staple for breakfast and also for 4 o'clock refreshment in many homes. I want to congratulate all stakeholders and actors here today for the contribution you've made to make our tea what it is today. And I want to appreciate the role of the ministry, Minister, PS, Tea Board, KTDA, farmers, members of parliament who have done a good job in terms of anchoring this sector in a sound legal and regulatory framework. I salute all of you. And when I say members of parliament, both houses of parliament, the National Assembly and Senate. Ladies and gentlemen, the socio-economic importance of the tea subsector cannot be gainsaid. The tea industry is not only an engine of economic growth, but it's a key anchor to our sustainability and environmental conservation pursuits. Many of us here can attest to the role tea growing has played in supporting our education. Many families have educated their children in the last few decades, especially from the tea growing areas, or a place like Mombasa where the last mile of the tea marketing is done as the tea leaves our country, through the employment created in the entire supply chain, production and supply chain. Many families have educated their children from this sector. The sector has traditionally represented a major source of income and employment, especially for rural communities of our country. Smallholder farmers, many of whom are women, account for over 60% of global tea production. Women play a crucial role in the tea industry, substantially contributing to its sustainability, productivity, and community development, especially because tea is labor intensive and it provides many decent jobs, and these jobs are mostly preferred by women. Tea cultivation also promotes sustainable farming practices and environmental conservation, helping to mitigate climate change, because one of the threats now our tea farming, tea growing is facing is the threat of climate change that is disrupting weather patterns and also introducing harsh and radically different weather conditions that could affect the quality of our tea. For this reason, the government has recognized the tea subsector as a key anchor to the economy, with the bottom-up economic transformation agenda placing tea among our priority value chains, which will develop alongside other value chains like coffee, like cotton and coconut and so forth, and leather and everything else that this country can generate in the area of agriculture and livestock production. To safeguard the heritage and reputation of Kenyan tea and to ensure sustainability of the tea subsector, the government has continued to address the challenges facing the tea value chain. Chief among these is the high cost of production and processing, market access, lack of value addition, and dependence on markets that consume the CTC tea, that is the crush, tear, and curl tea. There are also challenges around quality concerns and perennial governance challenges in smallholder tea factories. The agriculture pillar in the Kenya Kwanza plan is anchored on subsidizing production rather than subsidizing consumption. This broad target is to ensure we improve agricultural productivity to guarantee food security in the country, create jobs, and increase Kenya's exports. Of significant import has been efforts to reduce the cost of production and bring higher earnings to tea farmers. In this regard, the government has, over the last 2 years, supported tea farmers to access over 180,000 metric tons of subsidized fertilizer at a subsidized price of 2,500 shillings per 50 kilogram bag. This year, the government has allocated and disbursed 2 billion shillings to support the distribution of 97,000 metric tons of subsidized fertilizer to tea farmers. Similarly, there has been remarkable progress in resolution of the governance challenges at KTDA by holding elections, which were held recently. These elections ushered in fresh new leadership. Several legal and institutional reforms have also been put in place to enhance the performance of the subsector. Currently, amendments to the Tea Act 2020 is ongoing, while some of the tea regulations required to operationalize the Act are being developed. However, ladies and gentlemen, there is much more that needs to be done. One, there are concerns about tea quality that remain a challenge to the sector as we look into the future. As the Cabinet Secretary has said, we have had cases of significant quantities of unsold volumes of tea which could not be sold, the reason being issues around the quality of those volumes. Whereas the removal of minimum prices has now been effected to allow trading flexibility and the clearance of stocks, significant efforts must be made to secure quality standards. Indeed, if buyers continue rejecting our tea over quality issues, we must anticipate that tea farmers will receive lower earnings and consequently impact upon the quantity produced. The corporate governance reforms, another issue which is of concern to this sector going forward. These reforms that have been identified in the various task force recommendations over the years, as well as the expected audit findings announced by the Ministry of Agriculture and Livestock Development, must also be prioritized. The challenge of conflict of interest in the management and operations of the various smallholder factories and KTDA should remain a core focus of the new leadership in the sector. The challenges facing tea production and tea are very many and so inextricably intertwined that effective and workable solutions should be holistic. The government will continue working with the stakeholders on market expansion for tea to new and emerging markets, while at the same time developing the traditional markets. Other support that will be provided under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda framework include supporting smallholder factories to diversify into orthodox tea with a view to reduce the pressure on CTC tea prices occasioned by oversupply. As you are aware, Kenyan farmers have traditionally relied on the conventional methods of tea production: plucking, withering, rolling, oxidation, and drying, which, while profitable, offers less income potential than value-added teas. Value addition has the potential to increase smallholder farmers' incomes when compared with non-value-added conventional tea. We should strive to encourage packaging, branding, blending, and other value addition elements. We must also adopt technology and innovation to product development, product diversification, continued research and development in the tea industry present an opportunity for the industry to develop products aligned to the new and emerging sophisticated consumer demands, including shifting preferences by the youthful generation. Climate change, another challenge, is impacting the tea subsector as with all other sectors of the economy. Changes in temperatures and rainfall patterns with more floods and droughts are steadily affecting yields, tea product quality and prices, lowering incomes and threatening rural livelihoods. These climate changes are expected to intensify, calling for urgent adaptation measures. We must design and implement climate practices that mitigate the negative impact of climate change in the sector, both on the adaptation and mitigation front, into our national tea development strategies. I am glad to note that despite the challenges that have been facing the subsector in recent years, the performance of the industry has remained afloat and weathered the challenges of the global economic shocks affecting key markets for our tea. Last year, export earnings from tea reached a record 180 billion shillings, up from 138 billion shillings the previous year. Going by the export earnings so far until the end of October this year, which is at 156 billion, compared to 141 billion for the same period of last year, it is expected that export earnings by the end of this year will rise by at least 16% to reach 211 billion. I reiterate the government's commitment to continuously address the current and emerging issues in the tea industry, looking into the future with a view to safeguarding this national heritage of Kenya, our tea, to ensure sustainability of the subsector. We need to leverage on the legacy of the last 100 years, taking into account the emerging issues. I congratulate the organizers once again for creating the opportunity for our coming together as friends, partners, colleagues, and regulators to celebrate our successes and redesign our future, bonding over a cup of tea. In an increasingly complex and ever-innovating world, we must endeavor to preserve the special place of the Kenyan tea in Kenya's history and heritage. Good people, allow me to thank you for listening, and allow me to say that the best for the Kenyan tea is ahead of us. The best of Kenyan tea is ahead of us. Tea is giving us foreign exchange, the third earner of our foreign exchange after diaspora remittances and tourism. Tea is giving us jobs, especially in rural communities, and especially for our women who find a lot of decent jobs in this industry. And therefore, going forward, the government will continue to invest in this subsector. This administration, under the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, believes that the only way to revive our agriculture and take it to the next century, modernize agriculture, including tea production, is by investing and putting resources in the production process as opposed to subsidizing the consumption of our products. And it is that regard the government will continue enhancing the amounts that we allocate to the inputs that go into the production of tea, particularly fertilizer, as I have already stated, and also modernizing the technologies that we use to produce our tea to make sure that we have better quality tea production. And also, the government will continue to invest in value addition to make sure that we increase the earnings that we get from our tea. The challenges that this sector continues to face around governance, we have begun working on those challenges, and I want to thank all the stakeholders for making this possible. The two houses of parliament, county assemblies in some respect, county governments, the national government, Ministry of Agriculture, Tea Board, KTDA, and all the actors, agents and brokers, and all the actors in the value chain. We are grateful for agreeing to cooperate for the purpose of modernizing and enhancing the value of our tea sector by improving the governance situation in the sector. And there is no turning back. Let me clarify, there is no turning back in tea, coffee, and other reforms. There is no turning back. There is no turning back. And I repeat, there is no turning back. The government will not relent. And because my last national assignment, I was the security minister of the country, I want to assure you, I'll bring that firmness in this new assignment. The firmness of keeping the country first and placing the interest of our nation beyond any other interest. I therefore want to plead with us to cooperate, because the reform in the tea sector must succeed by all means possible. There are no two ways about it. There will be no roadblock. There will be no obstacle. There will be no hurdle. We will succeed for the sake of our country and for the sake of the farmers who sweat out to make sure that they give us this proud product that we sell and boast of all over the world. Mimi najua hapo kutakuwa na matatizo, lakini tutaendelea. We will reform our tea sector, because if it is giving us this value with all the challenges, you can imagine what it will do if we removed the challenges we have. Issues of governance are non-negotiable. They are non-negotiable. And I know what normally happens, because again of the experience I've had in other responsibilities before,
some of the entrenched practices that place a barrier on our success. Whenever there is a new holder of office, they say, we have seen many people. We have seen many ministers. We have seen many deputy presidents. We have seen many presidents. My friends, this administration is different. I assure you, President Ruto and all of us, we will succeed in reforming the tea sector. Luckily, when the reforms succeed, everybody will be happy, including those who are opposing the reforms. They will be happy. But before we get there, we must do the heavy lifting. And I want to congratulate my brother CS, my brother PS, the tea board people, KTDA. So far, you have done a lot of work, and I'm sure I will pick where my predecessor left to coordinate those reforms and make sure that we succeed. The quality issue, we must address it. Some of the quality issues are beyond our control because some of the factors that are impact on our quality is, for example, climate change. But we can mitigate and adapt our production processes to make sure that we minimize the effects of climate change in the quality of our tea. Diversification, of course, venturing into new products within this tea subsector, value addition, as I have said. Kwa hayo mengi na machache na washukuru. I wish I could stay longer, but maybe next time. I have promised to, I've given my commitment to Minister Karanja and PS Rono and all the other stakeholders, including our colleagues from Parliament, the two houses of Parliament. Very soon, in the next 2 weeks, I want to invite you for a fairly informal brainstorming roundtable so that you can bring me to speed from different sectors, angles, and players where we are on this process so that as we continue working together, we are all reading from the same script. I promise we should do that, Minister, in the next 2 weeks so that we are all aligned. Nashukuru sana, nawatakia kila la heri, Mungu awabariki, Mungu awabariki nchi yetu ya Kenya. Asante. Nimesahau, I'm still learning the job. It is now my pleasure to declare this conference and this celebration officially open. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Your Excellency. I will request you to remain up there as we remove the podium and bring this banner so that you can receive a gift from the Chairman, Tea Board of Kenya. Mr. Chair, kindly, escorted by the CEO, mweze kumpokeza His Excellency zawadi hiyo. And then as His Excellency is going to receive that, I'll request that kindly we sit as we are going to take a few photos. I will invite the CS and the PS to join His Excellency up there. And then the chair is already there, the CEO is already there. Then be on standby. The chair KTDA and the CEO KTDA be on standby. Kindly, we can sit, kindly. Thank you. As the chair and the CEO withdraw, the chair and CEO KTDA kindly join His Excellency and the PS on stage. Then we get the Tea Board of Kenya board members. Kindly, we step forward. The third photo, Tea Board members. Thank you. The CS, His Excellency and the CS will remain. And then I invite the Tea Board of Kenya board members. Then the last one will be the Tea Board of Kenya KTDA board members. Be on standby. And then the last one, KTDA members, then the last one will be waheshimiwa, because mkumbuke wao ndo wanatutengenezea sheria ya chai. Tafadhali tukiwasahau watatusahau, lakini si matumaini kwamba watatusahau. Kindly waheshimiwa, we will take both houses, kindly, both houses. Let's balance. Tufanye tu kwa muda, tuokole muda tafadhali. Thank you very much. Now we will withdraw. The last picture is going to be with the lawmakers. The CS will remain also, and the PS. Both houses are joining His Excellency now. Thank you very much. We will now both withdraw. We leave His Excellency for the national anthem. Let's all be upstanding kindly. The national anthem. Thank you very much. As we remain standing, we leave His Excellency to leave at his own pleasure. Welcome, Your Excellency.
I know mkona talents, lakini mkona vibe. It's time to discover East Africa's newest talent. Ni mda wa Kenya kuchachisha. Anguka nayo kati toka, utuonyeshe hizi stunts